A lot of times after writing emails for years together, we are still confused about writing one particular type of email. Yes, I am talking about the resignation email, and that's the topic for the video today. Okay, very quickly, my name is Faheem and I'm your professional coach. Today what we are going to discuss is about how do you coolly write your resignation email. Now, a lot of times if you analyze, we after some experience, we definitely get better opportunities to move up in life. Now, while explaining this or while telling this to the boss, we have a lot of ideas that run in our mind. Ideas like, what will he think about me? There's been great bonding between me and my boss, and how can I walk up to him and say that I want to work with somebody else? Guys, remember, we are in corporate environment and nobody is a friend in your office. I always tell this, you can have good colleagues, but you can never have good friends in the office, at least when you're working there. Okay. So quickly starting with, what are the times, or there's only one time rather we write this resignation email, and that's when we would like to say bye-bye to the organization. Now obviously, before writing this, I as a coach would tell you to think a lot of times, analyze, not only think but analyze, sit with your mentor and decide if it's the right time for you to move out. You never move out for money, or you never move out for something, one or two things in life. You move out with a proper decision. Now that you have made up your mind that you're going to move out, you can definitely go ahead and write your resignation email. Okay. Now there are a few points that I have quickly made note of that you need to have in your mind while writing an email, resignation email. First one, while writing a resignation email, remember there are two emails which normally people write. One is necessary and the other one is for their good feeling. The first one is to your boss or the HR department, and the second one goes to your colleagues, is because you have developed some kind of relationship with them, working with them for years together. So I have also heard a couple of incidents where somebody who used to work with us, all of a sudden he disappears without telling anyone, and we feel as if he was fired. But later on we come to know he actually served his notice period and he never told anybody. So that's a very I would say that's not a very recommendable habit. Do let your colleagues know when you're moving out so that even they can be prepared. Okay. Now coming to the main agenda, which is how do you write a formal resignation email to your manager, to your reporting authority. Very simple. We got to remember the choice of words that we are using, and we also are gonna have a properly framed email. Okay. Now resignation email, please remember, need not be a long story. It has to be one of the shortest and crisp email. By reading that, your boss or the authority should be comfortable in letting you go. Okay. So I have a sample email here, and we can discuss this out. So I've written subject line which says resignation from the post of project manager. Resignation from the post of project manager, just as an example. You will go ahead and we start the email by saying, Dear Anwar, or whoever your manager is, whoever you want to send this mail to. Dear Anwar, I hereby wish to resign from the post of project manager. Now this first line tells him very clearly why are you writing this email. Okay. And the second line is more powerful. The second line is, you're going to say, please consider this as a formal notice of resignation. Why do you have this? The first so crisp thing is because resignation is something which is very, very serious, and you cannot be joking around. You cannot be writing like, hey, you know what, it was a great time spending here and this and that, and finally somewhere in between, I would like to resign. No, a resignation is one email where you will go ahead and sternly, in the first line you will say, I'd like to give you the notice of this. Now how do you, now this is very, very straight to the point. So how do you, make it more, rapport-ish, or how do you make it more, polite in telling, is in the further lines. Now once you have said this, you can also define the reason for resignation, which is, for example, here I have written, the reason for resignation is that I am being offered a position of general manager or whatever elevated position Now, if you are very good with your boss and you would like to tell them which organization is hiring you, great, go ahead and say that. If not, you can just stop with that. For example, you can either say, the reason for resignation is that I am being offered a position of general manager in Elgo Learnings Private Limited based out of Chennai. Or you can also stop with just telling them why you want to resign. And you can also conclude the first paragraph by saying, at the present stage of my career, I am looking forward for new and challenging roles. Now this clearly tells that you're not resigning for some personal reason or for some, for somebody in the office, but you are purely resigning for better prospects. And trust me guys, even as an employer, I will definitely appreciate my resources growing. Yes, for example, if somebody who I am really counting on comes up to me and says I'm going, now it depends how he's going to say. If he says like this, that I am offered a better position, I would like to go ahead and pursue my career ahead, trust me, I will not have any problem. In fact, I will wish him luck, and that's what a lot of professional bosses do. Now that's pretty much the the message that you have given him. Now, as a good employee, because you have been working there for years together, or for you have spent some really good time, the organization apart from the salary has given you a lot of other things. You got to show your gratitude, and that's where you are considered like a formal or like a professional person. So in the second paragraph you can write, I am currently working on XYZ project, or for example on CSR project, on whatever project, on institutional sales project, which is about to get completed or is nearing the completion. Okay, so you're defining that I'm working there. I shall submit the report, I shall submit the project report in detail to you before I leave, which means you're telling that as a professional guy, I'm going to the other organization, but I'm making sure that I am giving you all the data that is required to you and before I leave. That's like an assurance to your boss that, you know what, you need not worry though I'm leaving. You can go ahead and further state this, saying, and this is a very, very important point that I'm going to share with you, is because in my previous experience, guys, I have burnt my fingers because of this one line missing. Okay, so this line, pay attention to it. This line is, I shall also like to serve the notice of 60 days or 30 days or 90 days, whatever your employer has told you in the letter of appointment. So here I have mentioned, I shall also like to serve a notice of 60 days starting from today. Okay, now here there are 2-3 deviations that might come. For example, your next hiring company might have told you, say, boss, whatever it is, we want to hire you, you have to join before 60 days or whatever. That is a different, again, this is just a frame, this is structure that I'm showing you. There are different modifications that you got to do with the scenario. As an example, let's say if the hiring company says another 25 days you got to join us, it's very critical, then you got to tell them that something like this is already, my project is already near completion, and I would really appreciate if I can be relieved of my duty immediately or in next 10 days or something like that. But if you're comfortably moving, which normally is recommended, see, every other company wants to hire you quickly, so you got to be smart enough. You cannot be, the HRs will show as if you have to join them in like 25 days, if not the opportunity is gone. That's where you become assertive, explain it to them. And I always tell this is slightly off the record, but this is important. Whenever you're jumping the organization, guys, I would say take a little time for yourself. I've always done that. Take a little time for yourself. It gives you time. Take your family somewhere on vacation. Come back, join the office afresh. Explain this to the HR. Do not become I'm sorry, do not become like one of those guys who who just jumps from one job to another job without any break. Do that. In fact, I have friends who come from on-site. As soon as they come, they say, oh, next day I'm going to join the job. Next day is my office. Guys, though this is off the record from the current topic, I'm telling you, work-life balance is very, very important. If you have been on-site working for a year, 1.5, 2 years, whatever months, come back, relax for some time. This is something that I've learned from my brother. This is something that I've learned from a lot of professional people who have been highly successful in life. Okay. Anyway, coming back to this, so we have told the first paragraph, we have told them we are resigning. We have also explained why are we resigning, and and the second paragraph we have told the manager that this is the project. So we have given them the assurance that we will hand over the project properly and then leave. Okay. So the most important line which I was talking about is you telling them I would also like to serve, or I will be serving the 60 days of the notice period that was defined by HR policy. Okay, and I will be happy, and yes, again, because you're telling this, you can also go ahead and play it smart by saying that I would also like to I would be happy to go ahead and brief my replacement about the role, and very smartly what to say before I leave. Or there are organizations which I normally call them as bunny organizations. There are organizations which which will ask you to come even after you have resigned and join the other organization, which I think is highly unprofessional. If some resources join my organization, if he's gonna support his previous organization, then I think it's not very very pleasant scene. It's not something which I would appreciate as a current employer. Okay, so yes, so you can definitely say I would be happy to brief about my present role to my replacement or to the person who's picking up my role before I leave. Okay, and the last paragraph will be that you are showing your gratitude, which is very critical, guys. I think showing gratitude not only to your organization but also to your family members, to your wife, to your parents, to your colleagues, to even to the cab driver who drops you from the office to the house is critical. So to the organization where you have served years together, it is very critical that we show our gratitude. So the last last paragraph with one line will actually make a lot of difference to your email. You would say I have learned great deal in the years I have served this organization, and I wish everyone and the organization all the very best. Okay, so then you can say warm regards, Faheem. And then, so this is something that will actually help you to write. Now, yes, we also go ahead and write the other kind of email which we write it to our colleagues, showing them the gratitude, you can also share your email ID or number with them. It depends on you, or it also depends on the policies of the HR. You can check with them. But yeah, it is also a great idea to go ahead and announce it. We will be covering this under the announcement emails when we are doing that episode. You can definitely do that. It shows you as a professional person. Okay. I normally keep quoting a lot of my personal experience. There was one time when one of the senior, I can say somebody like a general manager who I was closely working with in an organization quit all of the second. All of this, sudden. I don't know if he was under his notice period or whatever, but for me that was like a shock. Like, what? Like, next day he was not found, and I was actually looking for him. People said no, he's gone. So it looks very unprofessional. So yes, you can go ahead and send in a very soft email, but we were covering on the essential email that you have to send it to your boss. Now please remember, a lot of organizations also have come up with this ERP systems where you can actually go ahead and put your resignation, put down your papers on the ERP. It's a brilliant system, is because they will call you for an exit interview. And exit interview is something that again I will be covering in detail later on, but it is a very important compliance or a very important thing that organizations can have, and you should know how to appear for your exit interview. Okay, so if you're writing a formal resignation email, there's nothing to worry about. You can close your laptop, get up from your chair, shake hand with your boss, and comfortably walk out. I wish you all the best. Keep doing well, and see you on the top.